preparing to be the only plant-based eater in the family. How do you do that? Whether you're just living with your spouse or you're living with a family full of with your spouse and your children, whatever that might be. Or maybe you're single and you're living with other people. But either way, what do you do when you get into this situation where you're wanting to change over, you're wanting to go fully plant-based, but you feel like you don't have the support of the others that are living in your household? I'm going to share with you how to do that right now. Hi ladies, my name is Lori and I will never diet again. I'm a conservative Christian, a wife, mother, grandmother, pastor's wife, and my family and I have lived in Mexico since 2004. I'm so glad you've come to join me today. Many of you have asked me if my husband is fully plant-based, is my daughter fully plant-based? How do I handle going out to eat? Well, during my videos at different occasions, I can't just pinpoint one video because I vlog on the fly. So it just happens when it happens, and I share with you, hey, I packed this container and I'm going out, or or I'm actually out and I show you, hey, I'm eating out, here's my food set out on the table, etc. Well, how did I get to this place? First of all, it didn't happen overnight. Initially, when I went plant-based 7 years ago, it was because I was very, very sick. My plant-based story begins in 2015. I was very, very sick, couldn't get better. I went to an integrative doctor who broke the news to me that I had a horrible case of candida and colitis. I felt that my body could heal itself, but if God wasn't going to give me an instant miracle, I needed to know what to do. So I found a naturopath who is a fruitarian doctor. He has herbs and tinctures and all this kind of stuff. And I went and did this program for a long time, at least a year or two. Very cheating fruitarian. I was a fat, cheating fruitarian. When I initially started to eat plant-based, I didn't know a whole lot, but a week later of eating plant-based, the brain fog was gone and I was starting to act a little more normal, and my husband saw a big difference. He started sharing with people that I was changing. So he saw initially the benefits of me eating plant-based, and was he eating it the same way that I was? No. Did he like it? Some of it. He liked some of it too. And frozen strawberries in a smoothie for desserts. It took a long time for me to get my husband and my daughter off of that because it was way too many calories, and that's why I was fat. Initially I lost weight, but then I couldn't keep it off and my weight just skyrocketed because I was just getting too many calories. So it's been 7 years. It's been a 7-year progress. And I have not, and of course there's been times when I wasn't 100% compliant. I am not a vegan, so on occasion if I feel like I want an ice cream that's out, I will have an ice cream. That's why I ran into problems during the holidays, because I allowed dairy back into the house thinking, oh, it's just the holidays. Gained 10 pounds, wasn't worth it. So if I'm gonna eat something that's animal-based, it's not gonna be very often. Also, I have to watch my cholesterol. My cholesterol was 239 in January after all that experimental cheating that I did last year for 6 months. I gained nearly 30 pounds. Cholesterol was 239. Now 29 days to removing the oil and the animal products, my cholesterol was 170, which is much better, don't you think? I wrote these things down. I hate reading, but it's going to keep me on track and it'll get me through this a lot quicker. If this statement isn't true for you, that you're the only plant-based person in your family and you're able to easily transition your spouse and your entire family plant-based, kudos to you. The rest of us wish we could do that too, but it just isn't that way. This video is for those that are curious or wondering how I handled this situation. It's a process. As Dr. Lyle from the McDougall program or True North would say, don't try to convince anyone. I didn't follow this suggestion, and I had to learn to respect the decisions of others. I still, on occasion, tend to overshare, and so that's why it's a good thing for me to have this channel so that I can overshare all I want, and those that want to ignore me, well, they just won't even click on the video to watch. I argued and I cried initially and had fits of great turmoil over all the new information that I was learning. And looking back at it, I could have approached it all a bit differently by offering my food for them to try and slowly winning them over as they tried my good food. Even then, it takes willing participants. So you'll win some, but not them all. I am pretty sure it was initially thought that I was doing some fad diet or something strange and unreasonable by my husband. Now, the sicker you are, the more you're going to stick with it. So if our options have run out for better health, fortunately, it's not what I can't have, but what I can have. And learning how to enjoy healthy foods, using healthy unprocessed recipes, it just takes a little bit of time. I've heard Dr. Lyle say that the sicker that you are, the more likely you're going to stick with this plan. And I was very sick. So that's another thing. Others around me in my circle might think, oh, it'll just be a short thing. She'll be done with it in a month. But no, it's going on for years and years and years. So they've learned that's just who I am and that's how I eat. And I have my reasons for it. It's for a health reason. This is a tip. You prepare to pre-eat or take your food from home while you're eating out. So taking my food with me during meals with friends has always sparked conversations about my food and what I'm doing. So that's a way of sharing with them without me forcing what I know on them. I keep the link for Dr. McDougall's free color book, which is on his website, available. It's available in many languages, and it's on hand to give anyone who'd be interested in understanding what I'm doing and why. I just pass them the link. We use WhatsApp down here in Mexico, so I just said, hey, you got WhatsApp? Send them the link, and now they've got all the information. Some have tried it. I personally don't have a single friend that is in my circle that eats the way I do. I have one that's close to it, but she does eat some animal products. So that eats only plants like I am. The majority of the time, like I'm 98%, 99% compliant as far as eating plant-based. And I don't have anybody that's eating exactly like I am in my circle. I know some have tried it, but I don't personally have a single friend in my circle that eats the way I do. Lead by example. It's difficult when I see my friends and my family suffering needlessly by their food choices, but that's their personal choice, and accepting it helps me to let it go. No one forced me to eat this way, and it's always been about my personal choice and what I accept as what I see best for me, for myself. I'm convinced, while others have told me they were not convinced. I'm convinced, but they're not, about eating this way. I do feel bad for them and hope the best for them, but I also do not take on their health problems. So I pray the Lord give them wisdom to make the best choices, and that they're given information that will help them heal, and then I let it go and live my life free of worrying about it. And if they're in the pharmaceutical system, in the back of my mind, I know it's going to happen to them, as it's predictable, but I just let it go. There have been occasions, such as Thanksgiving, when my food looked better, more festive, and especially with a pumpkin on my plate, a little pumpkin on my plate, than the rest of the traditional food. It was pretty spectacular looking. Dr. Lyle gave some great suggestions for preparing ourselves for the remarks that we may get. So he says, if they're saying something contrary to and discouraging towards us, we can just say, yeah, you're probably right, but I'm just going to check this out from way of eating for myself and see what happens. So you diffuse them, the questions coming at you in a negative way, and you just, yeah, you're probably right, and just, there's no place else to go with it, because you just diffused it. Lead by example, influence by example, live it out, and let your community watch your results. Share what this way of eating is doing for you. I'm gonna tag my latest post for my personal Facebook page that all my Facebook friends and my family are seeing today, with Michael Bublé singing, "I'm Feeling Good." Wow, your friends. There's no one on any fad, sad American diet that can say their cholesterol shot down 39 points after 29 days eating this way. I did that by removing oil and dairy and eating plants. This can be you too, so make it happen. So my 9 little tips are: influence by example, lead by example. 2, leave the convincing behind. Don't try to convince anybody. 3, if a conflict statement is said to me, I'll say thank you. You know, like one time I was told my skin looked bad. A friend said, your skin looks really bad. Oh, thank you. You can also say, you're probably right. And there's the end of the conflict. 4, share what the lifestyle is doing for you. Hey, look at my cholesterol went down. That's awesome. Maybe I'll plant a seed and they'll be thinking about it. So when they get in trouble, maybe they'll consider it. Maybe they won't. If they don't, no problem. 5, share your food for others to try when it's an appropriate occasion. Maybe it's a potluck, a family gathering, bring enough for the others to try it. Maybe they'll like it. 6, pre-eat or take your food from home. When eating out, you're leading by example. 7, it's a process. Give yourself time to experiment on yourself. And if you stray too far, it'll bring you back to what works. That's what happened to me. Number 8, it's not about what you can't have, it's about what you can have. And number 9, I welcome you to join the Lori Neighbor I'll Never Diet Again support group for ladies over 50. It's an interactive group for the ladies that would want to post before, during, and after weight loss pictures or videos, and also their food pictures and videos. We want to see what you're eating. If you're not interested, you're not going to be posting anything like that, this group isn't for you. All right, I hope this helps you out a little bit to know that it's just okay. Just let your family do what they want to do. Hopefully you're eating together. When you're eating and sitting down together, just eat your food and enjoy it. I've gone out to restaurants and they're eating whatever they're eating at the restaurant, and they're eating whatever they're eating here. My whole family gets together. We do this all the time. And there's times when I pre-eat. So last night we were out with our entire staff, with my family. They're all having tacos, and no, I'm fine. I just passed. No problem. It's not a big deal once you get used to it. It's something just to get used to. It's not about what you can't have. It's about what you can have. And you're going to be rewarded for making great decisions for your health, and you'll be leading by example. And then hopefully it's influencing them, that they're thinking, and give them time to think about it. Give them years to think about it. And maybe they'll never even want to try what you're trying, but you're loving your life because you're making the best decision that you could be making for yourself. And you're going to be there for them when they need you. And that's what's important, to be there to make those family memories with them. It's not about having a conflict. And if they make snarky remarks, it's because they have their own issues that they're dealing with. And it's almost as if they're faced with that by you doing what's right, and they're not willing to. So it's on them, not on you. So here we go. Let's finish doing what we're doing, right? We're going to do it because we're going to feel good about it. And it's actually in our very best interest. And it's God's original diet because it's the healthiest for us. The other thing is that they say, well, why did God allow us to eat meat and da-da-da-da-da? You know what? Back in Moses' day, people were given a certificate of divorce, and we know that God hates divorce. And we know how detrimental divorce can be to a family, and it tears them up. But it's allowed. Does that mean that it's a sin? God hates it. So God allows us to eat these other things, even if they're really not the best for us. He says, go ahead and you can eat it. It's not a sin to eat it, but we know that it makes us sick. It does. Too much of it makes us sick. Maybe if we were eating more like in the blue zones, which we don't, we overeat. We are gluttons with the animal products, and so we get sick. So that where do we go? We have to go full plant-based because our bodies just can't take anymore. So God's original diet, it's tasty, it's satiating, and we aren't really missing out on anything. We aren't. We aren't. Take care. God bless you. Like and subscribe, please.